We need to make sure that we are doing a good job in the classroom, and then we are able to do our best on the volleyball court, and then also have a time to give it back to the community.
Welcome to Cardinal Coaches Corner. Our guest this week is someone we're really excited to have over. It's her very first time here, our first-year head volleyball coach, Paty Figueiredo. Close?
Yes. Very
Okay,
good.
I got close, folks, so we're going to do one take. Okay. The Cardinals are currently ranked number 10 in the nation. They're 3-2 in the season. They just returned from a Florida trip, and we'll talk about that shortly. Paty, first I want to talk about you and fill folks in on your history a little bit. You came from West Plains in Missouri State, West Plains, Missouri, where Cardinal fans are familiar with because the national tournament was there in 2022.
Yes.
Last year there as the head coach, you went 38-7, I think, and finished 5th in the nation. And yet here you're at Trinity Valley.
Mm-hmm.
What attracted you to this place?
Well, when I got invited, so first, thanks for having me.
Oh, sure.
I'm excited to be here for the first time, talking to you guys. And I want to tell you that the first time that, it was kind of a new thing for me to think about, getting out of West Plains.
Because you actually played there as well.
I played there, yeah. And I got to a point where, I was thinking about a lot of things, and I got a call from Aaliyah, who was coaching here before,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me about her decision and how she thought it would be a good fit for the school and for me as well. And when I came on a visit, it was just, that was the point where I really needed to make my decision, and I was very excited. Hobbs and I, we were very excited to be here just to see how people, support you and how they respect what you do and how they just want to be you successful. And that's what attracted us here. And of course the school, the facility and everything. But I think at that point it was just how welcoming it was and how excited everyone was to see us here.
I remember the night that you visited. I didn't get to meet you that night, but it was at a basketball game, and I was over calling the game on the Cardinal Sports Network. And I would watch your interaction with people. So that next Monday morning, Eddie Cotter, athletic director, of course, everyone knows, he called me and said, "What do you think?" I said, "We got her." I could just see the way that you were interacting with the people and the way the people were interacting with you.
Yeah.
We got her.
Yeah, it was special.
Talk about that, because when we recruit kids in here and try to recruit coaches, we try to explain to them how special this place is and can be. But I don't think you can fully appreciate it till you're here, can you?
See, that's what I tell the girls when we try to tell them and when we are recruiting them. And we say that it's hard to explain until they are here. But it is. It's special, just by how much people just want to see you succeed,
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just, we are not talking about things that you can measure, the funding, the values of things. It's just the treatment,
Right.
how people are so kind to you, how they
Sure.
want to help you in every way possible.
Yeah, and you've seen this from the administration and from the faculty and from the staff. They want your athletes to succeed as students too and as people. And you look at your grade point average of the team and just talk about some of the things that have come that good way in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes. So we got the AVCA award, academic award, and that is one thing that, I always talk to my students. We need to have priorities. And when they come here, they're a student first. Student, athlete, and then we give it back to the community. So every time we need to make sure that we are doing a good job in the classroom, and then we are able to do our best on the volleyball court, and then also have a time to give it back to the community. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little volleyball. You went to Florida, opened up your first season here at Trinity Valley, and you went 3-2. You saw some good quality opponents from Florida, including Florida Southwestern, who is the standard by everybody's judged by right now.
Yes.
What are your positive takeaways from that trip, and what did you get out of it that you were hoping you would get out of it?
It was an important trip for us because, one, we didn't have all of our players together until a couple days before we went to Florida. Our setter, we had one setter here. The second setter got here just a few days before we traveled. We had 2 middles that got here 2 weeks, had a little over a week of practice before we traveled to Florida. And it was important for us to have a weekend that would be a tough weekend, that we knew we would see tough opponents. We knew that Florida was, has been ranked number 1, and the teams that play in the conference in the Florida Conference, they're all tough teams. And we knew we needed to face that in order for us to grow as a team, and we have a lot of young kids that needed to see what the competition looks like, and to be able to struggle as a team and do good things as a team for us to grow. So I think it was an amazing weekend, volleyball related, but also to bond as a team.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
And to grow. Yeah, it was for sure. It was important.
Well, one of the young ladies that had a really successful week for you, she was named to the all-tournament team, Bianca Salvador. She followed you from Missouri State West Plains. Talk about her. Yeah,
so Bianca, she's a natural leader, and that was one of the things that we noticed as soon as we talked to her the first time. Her background, her experience as a volleyball player, but also she has a winning mindset. She doesn't want to waste time. She just want to get the job done. And with the team, she has been a good leader. And that is one of the reasons why we wanted her to come with us, because we knew that she would be a good leader to put this team together, to help us grow together.
What's the most positive aspect that came from the 5 matches? What did you learn about your team that maybe you weren't sure about, and what areas did they meet expectations?
Well, it was good to see them in action. We expected to see. We have a deep team. We know that we have changes that we can make. We know that we have a team, players that have a good ball control and great hitters. We just we hadn't seen them all together. And of course, being so early, not being able to practice not even a week with everyone.
That's got to be unsettling.
Yeah. But it was good to see them in a game environment, playing under pressure. But we saw what we expected. We know we have great players, great ball control. It's going to be a team that, we have a good serve receive. We have players that can play on the outside, right side. Our middle blockers will be, once we start connecting with the setters, I think it's going to be a really good offensive team.
As I watched the matches from Florida on the webcast and everything, I was trying to say, what's Paty's style? I'm trying to figure. It looks like you're very intent on attacking at the net. I mean, I sense some aggressiveness at that. What would you consider your philosophy or your style of play?
Well, I am someone that, of course, we don't want to lose, right? And we don't want to see our team giving up. That's what I tell them. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter who we see in front of us. We need to fight until the end. If there's any point left, any games left, we need to go for it. We need to prepare ourselves to play a game that goes 3-0, but also be prepared to go to 5. We just need to be ready. And I'm a coach that I like for my players to have a conversation, to understand the game together. It's not only about hitting the ball hard or, try to ace, but it's really about understanding how our actions will help us in a game, and having that conversation, with them on the court, talking to each other, and then also being able to take it to them, what we have seen from outside, and for them to share what they are seeing from inside, so we can all come up with a good plan. So
as we're about to talk about what's coming up ahead the next couple of weeks, but what's your overall assessment of where you are? Is it kind of an unfinished scorecard right now because you haven't had the team together as long, so you're not exactly sure? Or you have a pretty good idea of what this team's ceiling is?
Well, we are always, I think it's a good thing to not be 100% sure, to have questions about your team, because I think every coach needs to do that. It needs to be that way. If you're settled with just one idea and you know where you are, I feel like you want to see where your team can go,
right?
And your players. So at this point, I'm pretty sure we are just at the beginning. Like I said, just a week of playing and practicing together, I can see a lot of amazing things coming together, in the future. Once our players start really connecting and learning how to play with each other, I think it's going to be a really good year ahead of us. But of course, we need to take one day at a time.
And I never heard a coach say he or she wanted to play their best ball in the first month of the season anyway. I mean, you got to have a little bit of margin for error and to grow as a team. Well, let's talk about what's coming up later this week. You'll be in Brenham for the Cruise Classic, which we play in every year down there, and it's always a great tournament. You got matches coming up with Collin, New Mexico, Midland, and Western Texas. What are you looking for to take the next step as a team?
Well, I think it's going to be a good weekend after, coming back from Florida, of course, just looking and watching, playing the teams from the Florida Conference and now coming back this way. I think it's going to be good to give us an idea of what is, what our opponents look like in general, and what are the things that we need to improve. But I'm going to say this again. I think it's just every day is going to count now, to make sure that we are connecting as a team. So it's very, very early in the season for us to know what we are. And I'm pretty sure this weekend is going to bring a lot of good things.
It poses a question as you were saying that seeing teams from Texas versus teams from Florida, and you've coached in Missouri and because you played college ball in the state of Florida. Are the styles different across the nation, or are they pretty much how different are they?
Yes, they are different, and that was one of the first things that we talked about, how we need to first learn how a conference works, what type of teams we face, because of course we want to go to the national tournament.
Sure.
And we want to be national champs. That's our number one goal. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
But in order for us to get there, we need to first get to the first challenge. We need to win our conference, our district. And now, of course, after you play and you coach sometime, you see that there are some differences in style of playing and the teams that we face. So that's what we are looking forward now to see what the teams from Texas will be like. Of course, when we're in Missouri, we get used to one type of conference. The teams we get used to the teams that, okay, this is a team that we need to beat. This is how they play. That's the style that they play. So you kind of get used to it. But now it's going to be new for everyone. It's going to be new for the coaches, for the players, for us to understand, because that's going to be the first challenge, for us to get to what we want.
Right. I remind fans the Cruise Classic will be webcast on the Blinn College Network, and as soon as we have those links, we'll put up on our social media, and Coach Paty will have it on all the volleyball pages, so we'll get all that information out to you. I want to talk about one more date. Friday, September the 5th at 2 p.m., Cardinal Gym. Cisco's coming to town for the home opener. I know you got to be pretty psyched about getting at Cardinal Gym because you've seen the atmosphere there for basketball, and I'm sure you may have looked into some of our webcasts in the past on volleyball. The place gets rocking pretty good.
Yes, we are very excited. The girls are excited. I can't wait to be in the gym. I tell the players that it's hard for us when we are practicing to create the same environment. Sure. And I just can't wait for them to be in the gym with, the fans being there. Of course, we have the cheer team that's
got
always there.
We've got 100 cheerleaders.
Yes.
We've got 50 cardettes. Got a 50-member band, a 80-member football squad. There's a sellout right there.
Yes. And I was very excited to watch the cheer team and the cardettes. It was my first time watching something like that, and it's just amazing what they do, and just to think that they have a chance to be in the gym cheering for us. It is amazing. I mean, I just can't wait to see all the fans, all the the friends of the Cardinals, and everyone that has been supporting us from far, now being able to be in the same gym.
Last April, when we had our all sports banquet, and I was talking to somebody. They said, "What were your impressions of the banquet?" And I said, "Well, one thing I know for certain, Coach Paty loves being here." You can just tell your genuine love for the place already, and that's just something that you can't disguise or fake, and you can tell that it was real with you.
Yes, and I'll tell you this, there is nothing I could ask for. There is really nothing I can complain ever. This place has been amazing to me. Hobson, my husband, he's the assistant coach, strength and conditioning coach, and just the way that people look at us, the way that people respect us, all the coaches that we get to see every day and see how they do things, our staff, it has been amazing. I just hope that I can give back, at least 1% of how much we feel appreciated here, because that's it's special.
From someone who's been around forever, and that's a true statement, you can genuinely sense it with you that it's not fake, it's real, that you love being here. And I think we're going to be celebrating a title here at some point.
Yes.
Hopefully in our lifetime. Well, Paty, this has been great. I've been looking forward to this first visit
Thank you.
forever. We're looking forward to on the Cardinal Sports Network to webcasting all the home games, having you drop by after the games and visit
Yes.
and talk about the performance of the kids. And folks, thank you for joining in this week. And we'll be back next week with another guest on the Cardinal Coaches Corner. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.